Welcome lore lovers to Lion Drag. Today we delve into the mythic realm of Norse legends, following the epic journey of Thor into the lands of the giants. Join us as we uncover the mysteries and illusions that test the might of the Thunderer himself. Thjalfi and his sister, Röksva, resided with their parents on the outskirts of a wild land teeming with monsters and giants. Thjalfi, known for his swiftness, often found himself fleeing trouble in the wilderness. One day their routine was disrupted when two visitors, Loki and Thor from Asgard, arrived in a chariot drawn by immense goats named Snarler and Grinder. The gods requested lodging and food, but Röksva explained they had little to offer after a harsh winter had depleted their supplies. Undeterred, Thor swiftly slaughtered the goats and prepared the hearty stew with the help of Röksva and her mother. Meanwhile, Loki, with his unsettling demeanor, whispered to Thjalfi about the benefit of eating goat bone marrow for strength. As the meal was served, Thor claimed an entire goat for himself, leaving the others to share the rest. Thor instructed them to eat without breaking or chewing the bones, a challenge to their dining etiquette. Loki, in his unusual fashion, devoured his portion with remarkable speed, leaving no trace of his meal within moments. Thjalfi, unable to shake Loki's words about the goat bone marrow, secretly broke a bone to consume the marrow, concealing his act under intact bones. The next morning, Thor discovered the broken bone when he magically restored the goats to life, but Grinder's hind leg remained injured. Thor's fury erupted, demanding to know who broke the bone. Thjalfi, fearing for his family, confessed to the deed. Thor threatened destruction upon the farm until Thjalfi offered himself as a bondservant in exchange for sparing his parents. Röksva, unwilling to let her brother face punishment alone, insisted on accompanying Thjalfi. Thor agreed, leaving Röksva to care for the goats, while Thjalfi joined Thor and Loki on a journey to Utgard. Thor, Loki and Thjalfi ventured eastward towards Jotunheim, facing increasingly harsh conditions with biting winds and dropping temperatures. As daylight waned, they sought shelter and stumbled upon an unusual structure, a vast doorless hall resembling a cavern. Despite the ominous setting, they settled near the entrance for the night. Suddenly, the ground quaked and thunderous roars filled the air, prompting Thor to suspect a natural catastrophe or a ferocious creature. To err on the side of caution, they retreated to a side room. Throughout the night, the deafening noises persisted, leaving Thor restless and eager to confront the source. At daybreak, without waking his companions, Thor ventured into the forest towards the sound, distinct rumblings, humming and piercing whistles that unnerved even the mighty god of thunder. Thor, having scaled the hill, beheld the colossal figure of Skirmir in the valley below. Skirmir, with hair and beard as dark as charcoal and eyes like piercing eyes, snored so powerfully that each breath shook the ground. Despite his intimidating size, Skirmir greeted Thor cheerfully, revealing his nickname Big Fellow with a touch of sarcasm. Skirmir casually mentioned losing his glove, which turned out to be the hill Thor had climbed. As Thor's companions, Loki and Thjalfi tumbled out of the glove. Skirmir proposed they travel together. Thor, Loki and Thjalfi agreed, joining Skirmir for breakfast, where the giant devoured whole animals while sharing provisions with his new companions. Skirmir then shouldered their belongings into his immense bag, lightening their load as they continued eastward together. Thor, Loki and Thjalfi struggled to keep pace with Skirmir's colossal strides as they journeyed throughout the wilderness. By evening they reached a campsite chosen by the giant, who promptly settled down for an early night, claiming he wasn't hungry and leaving their provisions secured in his unyielding bag against a tree. As Thjalfi attempted to open the bag without success, Thor, renowned for his strength, joined the effort but ultimately failed to loosen the stubborn laces. Frustrated and hungry, Thor resorted to drastic measures, climbing atop Skirmir's slumbering form and delivering a mighty blow to the giant's forehead with his hammer Mjolnir. To Thor's astonishment, Skirmir merely brushed off the blow as if bothered by a falling leaf, casually inquiring if they were ready for bed. Despite the relentless snoring, Loki and Thjalfi managed to drift off to sleep, but Thor remained restless and distrustful. In a fit of frustration and hunger at midnight, Thor scaled Skirmir's head once more, positioning himself between the giant's eyebrows. With all of his strength, Thor struck again with Mjolnir, convinced this time that his hammer pierced Skirmir's forehead. Despite Thor's determined and forceful strikes, Skirmir, unfazed, continued to dismiss the hammer blows as minor disturbances, a falling acorn, a bird's nest. As dawn approached, Skirmir roused himself, ready to depart and directing Thor, Loki and Thjalfi towards Utgard to enjoy feasting and contest of strength. Skirmir, revealing his mild amusement at their astonishment over his size, teased them about encountering true giants in the north. With a boisterous whisper that could have deafened, Skirmir emphasized the vastness of real giants compared to himself, leaving Thor and his companions to ponder his parting words. With a final grin, Skirmir headed north, his departing steps causing the earth to tremble beneath him. Thor, still hungry and vexed, watched as the giant vanished into the distance, leaving behind a lingering sense of awe and uncertainty about the vastness of the world beyond. As Thor, Loki and Thjalfi journeyed eastward towards Utgard, the fortress they sought appeared deceptively distant and immense. Days passed before they realized the true scale of the fortress looming ahead. Approaching the fortress gate, they heard revelry within, but found no one at the entrance. Thor, undeterred, decided to enter, with Loki and Thjalfi following suit by squeezing under the colossal metal bars. Inside the courtyard and the great hall, they encountered giants seated on towering benches, dwarfing the visitors. Thor boldly strode toward the king of the giants, a figure with fiery red hair and piercing blue eyes named Utgard Loki. Recognizing Thor and Loki, Utgard Loki greeted them with a mixture of amusement and curiosity, acknowledging Thjalfi as Thor's bond servant. Utgard Loki boasted of Utgard as a haven for those with exceptional abilities and challenged Loki to an eating competition against his servant, Loki, renowned for his remarkable speed. Loki, nonchalant yet intrigued, accepted the challenge without hesitation. In the grand hall of Utgard, Loki faced off Loki in an eating competition, devouring all the flesh from a vast trough of roasted animals with incredible speed. However, Loki, lining up to his reputation, not only mashed Loki's pace but also consumed the bones and even the wooden trough itself. Utgard Loki declared Loki the winner of the eating challenge. Turning to Thjalfi, Utgard Loki acknowledged his running ability and proposed a race against Hugi, a remarkably swift giant child. Despite Thjalfi's best efforts, Hugi effortlessly outpaced him in the race, leaving Thjalfi breathless and bewildered. Utgard Loki encouraged Thjalfi to strive for greater speed, suggesting that Hugi's extraordinary swiftness was a benchmark to surpass. Thjalfi, filled with determination and curiosity, found himself contemplating the mysterious connection between Hugi and Utgard Loki as they prepared for another race. Thjalfi, determined to prove himself, raced against Hugi once more with unparalleled speed and determination, but Hugi effortlessly outpaced him yet again, reaching the finish line and returning before Thjalfi was even halfway. Utgard Loki halted the competition, acknowledging Hugi's unmatched swiftness. Returning to the Great Hall, Utgard Loki shifted the focus to Thor, challenging him to display his legendary abilities. Thor confidently declared his prowess in drinking, claiming he could drain any vessel. Utgard Loki, intrigued, summoned a special drinking horn with the assistance of his cupbearer, preparing to witness Thor's remarkable skill firsthand. The stage was set for Thor, the god of thunder, to demonstrate his legendary might. The challenge with the drinking horn proved to be a humbling experience for Thor. Despite his confidence, Thor found himself unable to empty the horn in a single draft or even in 2 attempts. Each time he drank deeply, the level of meat barely diminished, much to the amusement of the giants and the dry observation of Utgard Loki. Undeterred by the mockery, Thor persisted in his effort, determined to prove himself. Utgard Loki, sensing Thor's frustration, dismissed the drinking challenge and proposed a test of strength, asking Thor if he could lift a cat. Thor, taken aback by the seemingly simple task, confidently affirmed that he could lift any cat. The challenge shifted from a test of drinking to a test of physical strength, leaving Thor poised to demonstrate his might in a different manner. Thor's attempts to lift Utgard Loki's giant cat ended in an apparent defeat, with the cat proving too heavy for even the mighty Thor to hoist entirely off the ground. Utgard Loki, seizing the opportunity to challenge Thor further, suggested a wrestling match against his aged foster mother Ellie. Despite Thor's initial skepticism and pride, Utgard Loki explained that Ellie, although elderly and shrunken with age, possessed formidable wrestling skills honed over time. Utgard Loki warned Thor against underestimating Ellie's strength, recounting how she had bested men who appeared stronger than Thor himself. Thor, spurred by the suggestion of a wrestling challenge, faced the prospect of wrestling an elderly woman but recognized the gravity of the situation, realizing that he could not afford to be overconfident against an opponent of such unexpected prowess. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test Thor's mettle in an entirely new way. Utgard Loki looked down at them with a knowing smile, his eyes twinkling with mischief. He had orchestrated these challenges to humble the gods, to show them that even in their might, there were realms beyond their reach. "Ah, but you have entertained us greatly," Utgard Loki replied with a chuckle. "You, Thor, may not have bested my foster mother in wrestling, but you moved her more than any man has before. Thialfi, your speed is unmatched among mortals, but Hugi is swifter still. And Loki, you are a clever one, but Loki outmatched you in eating." Thor grunted, his frustration simmering beneath the surface. "Your challenges were rigged, giant. You and your kin are tricksters, playing games with us." Utgard Loki raised an eyebrow. "Games? Perhaps, but know this, Thor of the Azir. Humility is a virtue, and the lessons learned in the defeat are often more valuable than those in victory." The giant revealed to the travelers that everything they experienced in his realm was an elaborate illusion. He had disguised himself as Skirmir and manipulated various challenges to deceive them. Utgard Loki explained his tricks. The mountain they thought was a saddle was his shield against Thor's blows. The champion Loki was an illusion of fire, and Thialfi raced against Thoth itself. Thor's fists were also illusions. He unknowingly caused ties by drinking from a magical deep horn connected to the bottom of the seas, lifted the Midgard serpent disguised as a cat, and wrestled with old age personified as an old woman named Ellie. The realization dawned on Thor, Loki, and Thialfi. Each trick had been a test of their abilities, not of brute strength alone, but of wit and perception. Utgard Loki's realm was a realm of illusions, where appearances masked deeper truths and where challenges transcended mere physical prowess. Thor's gaze remained fixed on the distant mountain, the embodiment of his futile blows against Skirmir, the giant in disguise. He clenched his fist, feeling the weight of his pride bruised by the realization of deception. Loki's mind raced, piecing together the intricacies of the illusions that had confounded him. Loki's voracious eating was not a feat of speed but of fire, devouring everything in its path, an illusion crafted to humble even the trickster god. Thialfi, with his boundless speed, had been pitted against Hugi, the embodiment of Thoth itself. No matter how swiftly he ran, he could never outpace the intangible swiftness of Thoth. Utgard Loki's words lingered in the air, punctuating the silence that followed. "You see, my guests, you are not mere nobodies. You are travelers of Asgard, gods and mortals alike, who have ventured into realms beyond your ken. Take with you the lessons learned, for they are more valuable than the treasures of the realms." Realizing their gullibility, Thor readied his hammer to strike Utgard Loki, but the giant vanished before he could act. Utgard Loki vowed to ensure they never returned to his realm, closing the encounter with Thor's hammer held high and the giant's disappearance. As Thialfi and Loki reflected on the lessons learned from their encounter in Utgard, Thor remained silent, his mind consumed by the profound revelations of the previous night. The truth behind the illusions unraveled before him, revealing feats that defied comprehension. Utgard Loki's words echoed in Thor's thoughts like distant thunder, each revelation carving deeper into the fabric of his understanding. The realization that he had unknowingly altered the seas, created tides with his mighty thirst, and grappled with the ancient embodiment of old age left him awestruck. The image of Jormungandr, the colossal Midgard serpent disguised as the unassuming house cat, lingered in Thor's mind. The weight of having unwittingly stirred the earth with his attempt to lift the serpent's paw bore down upon him like the pressure of an ancient mountain. Thor's grip tightened around Mjolnir, the hammer of thunder, a silent testament to the immense power he possessed yet struggled to fully comprehend. The illusionary trials had revealed not only his physical prowess, but the boundless scope of his impact on the world around him. As Loki and Thialfi prepared to return home, their minds buzzing with newfound knowledge, Thor stood amidst the desolate plain, grappling with the implications of his encounter. The mysteries of Utgard unveiled a deeper understanding of his role as a god, a champion and a force capable of shaping realms. With a heavy heart and a mind burdened by revelations, Thor turned to join his companions. The journey back to Asgard would be one of contemplation, marked by weight of unseen feats and the legeric presence of cosmic forces. The echoes of Utgard reverberated within him, a testament to the enduring mysteries of the realms and the gods who traverse them. And there you have it, fellow lore lovers. If you enjoyed this exploration into Norse mythology, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Lion Drag for more captivating tales and discussions. Join our Discord community to connect with other enthusiasts and continue the conversation. Until next time, may the legends and lore inspire your imagination.